Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Thursday. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in Sydney. And of course, it's been with the North Shore Bombers footy club. And of course, they play in the AFL Sydney Premier Women's Competition. And of course, we've got 6 very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it, about the season so far. Thanks, Oi, for joining us.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, I'll get all 6 of you to introduce yourselves and what position you'll play on the field.
I might start. I'm Tilly. I'm the co-captain with Matho of women's team, and I play centre half forward.
And I'm Anna. I play in the midfield.
I'm Matho, Emily Matheson. I'm co-captain with Tilly. I play half-back flank.
I'm Charlie. I tend to rotate a bit through all of the positions. Just
Utility.
What can I say? But mainly like centre half back, like half back flank.
Hi, I'm Ava, and I also play in the midfield.
I'm Molly. I play half-back and a bit through the middle as well.
Tell us a bit about the season up to this point.
Look, we'll be honest, it probably hasn't been our best season so far. I think we started the year with quite a strong squad. We've been really unfortunate to pick up probably a significant amount of injuries this year. And we've also lost tons of players to Europe. I think 2023 coming out of COVID, everyone wants to travel. So we've thinned out a little. Yeah. So we're probably not making finals this year. We'll miss out slightly, but I think it's going to be like a really good rebuild year for the club. Our goal is probably to retain as many players as possible and then go into next season quite strong.
Yeah, for context, like the Prem's team for the women's has only kind of been around for 3 seasons now. So we've really been trying to build our capabilities in the Premier Division League, and it's unfortunate this year's taken a bit of a hit because we were really on our strides last year. We made it into the final series, which was super exciting for us. So unfortunate for this season, but yeah, like Tilly said, we'll be looking to build and retain as many people this year to have a cracker of a season next year.
How was training tonight, heading towards this weekend's game?
Well, we have training after this actually. So we're training. Sorry, we're meeting you pre-training. But on Tuesday night, I thought it was one of our best trainings all year. Yeah. So I feel really confident that we can probably end the season with 2 wins. Yeah, numbers were a bit iffy, but the skill was really great on Tuesday. I don't know if anyone has anything else to add.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
You got a couple of rounds to go before the season concludes. I guess what's any highlights throughout the season up to this point?
Oh man, it's just been so up and down. We've struggled with fielding 4 teams over the season, so we've had a lot of people shuffling between teams, playing double ups. I think we've got more people playing double ups again this year. This weekend. But I think it's been a Sydney-wide problem. So it's actually even the playing field for us on a number of occasions. We've come close to beating some teams previously that we've never beaten before. So they'd probably be some highlights for me personally. But what about you guys? Any highlights?
Actually, there was this one round this season where I think all the ladies teams won. Was it round ladies day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't remember who we played, but it was quite early in the season, and all our women's teams won.
Is that the first time that's happened?
I think
it's close to.
It's happened.
I think since we've had Prems.
Yeah, since we've had Prems, it's happened a very long time ago.
Yeah. So all 4 teams won.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Yeah, but also I think for me personally, a highlight is myself, and I think Matho and maybe Anna as well. A lot of us started playing women's footy in our 20s, because it sort of has only become really popular in the last couple of years. But people like Ava and Marley and a bunch of our other juniors, they've been playing since they were teenagers. And I feel like at the moment we have all these juniors coming in and they're just so much better than us. But it's a bit disheartening sometimes, but on the most part, it's really good. I'm I can't believe they're so good, so young. Yeah. And I feel like most of them are probably going to get drafted. We've got heaps of juniors in our team at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another highlight as well earlier this year when we had our draft. One of our players, Doug, drafted to the AFLW. She's playing for the Bulldogs, which is really, really exciting. And that was a really nice moment because I think we'd had a couple of tough losses, and to have some good news come in was very needed at the time. And that was really good. So yeah, I'd add that.
Are you going to see her play when she comes up to Sydney? You know, obviously she's playing for a Melbourne-based team.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I think Matho and one of our other teammates, Annie, went down to surprise her. Was she playing a VFL game?
No, she got pulled out of the VFL at that point. So we went down in full kit, playing the Bulldogs song, and just to try and, you know, she'd moved down there and didn't really know anyone, so gave her a little pep up. But I'll definitely be heading down there for the first Bulldogs game if I can, and I'm sure as soon as she plays the first game in Sydney, the whole team will be behind her.
Everybody will be there with little cutouts.
Yeah,
Tom's head.
So tell us a bit about your coaches.
So yeah, we've had a bit of a transition with coaches this year. So previously we had Lockie Pryor, who had been with the club as a men's player and had come up through the women's program. He essentially was like an integral part of starting the women's program. So he started with the women's Div 1 team before we had a Premier Division side, and then took over the Premier Division side as head coach of the club. So he saw us through 2 seasons in Prem. So he was like a really great first coach to have. He'd had a lot of experience in a high level of AFL. He had was on that borderline of rookie draft himself. So just having that insight into higher level footy definitely was a big advantage for us, and just his passion for footy was awesome. And then, this year we have shifted over to a different head coach. He was our assistant last year. Similar background in terms of a fair bit of experience with high-level footy. He was based down in Victoria for a fair bit of his coaching career, so again has that added insight in comparison to AFL Sydney. And he's been really good. I mean, it's always going to be hard, like coming in as a new head coach, and obviously we have a bit of a turnover with players and whatnot, but slightly different coaching style that I think everyone's taken to really well. He really wants to push us to be the best players that we can be, which is obviously what you want from a coach, and supported by some great assistant coaches, and then our reserve grade coach as well. Like, they all just work really well together to make sure that the whole coaching style and game plan filters through all of the teams really nicely.
Let's talk about all your football journey. So how did it all start, and why did you choose it?
Marley, start your way home.
Well, I played Auskick when I was like really little, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And then I got really into my hockey, so I took a bit of time away from AFL. But then my school, Queenwood, had AFL, so I started back up in year 9. And so I started playing from there. It was just like in the school comp, but we were playing against clubs. And then later I transitioned to playing for a club. And then this is my first year at North Shore.
Awesome. Mine's similar as well, but I didn't start playing until I was in high school, and I was playing for Queenwood as well. And then because Queenwood cut AFL, we both had to move to a club. And then because Lockie Pryor, the previous Prem's coach, was our coach at Queenwood, so he transitioned into playing women's football. So it was like a nice transition from juniors to seniors, which was really good for us.
Yeah, so a little bit similar to Ava and Marley. I was a couple of years above them at Queenwood. I come from a big AFL family. Dad grew up in Victoria. Granddad was like a 50-year MCG member. Older brother was like trying to get drafted. So it's always been around the family. So I was definitely keen to give it a crack. But at the time, I was actually competing at a reasonably high level with rowing. So AFL was more of like a fun side winter sport for me to do. But as I sort of progressed through, had a few opportunities come up with academy and things like that. That was kind of around the time that they started introducing those things. And then when I finished school, thought it was a great way to just continue being social, keep sport up. And then as North Shore continued to push towards a Premier Division side, it kind of became more realistic that you could play at a relatively high level in AFL Sydney. So, yeah.
My experience is the absolute polar opposite to that. I'd never experienced playing footy before. It didn't run in my family at all. The only kind of similarity I had was I'd always been involved in some pretty high level of sport as well. Played plenty of ball sports, tennis, basketball, touch footy, played high level rowing as well. I came to Sydney kind of first year uni, and I as kind of really wanted to make friends and get back into fitness after school, I just decided to wing it and join a footy club. I knew no one. And yeah, so that's I think about 8 years later and I'm still playing. So really I just wanted to get amongst a group of chicks and get some fitness into me. And to be honest, I wanted to run because I hate running and I need so to be honest, it's been the best decision I've made since I moved to Sydney. So really happy about it.
Yeah, I have a very similar background to Matho. Like, this is actually my second season playing AFL. I did like tennis, soccer, all of that growing up, but my family was an NRL family. So I honestly didn't like AFL growing up. It was ingrained in me that it was like a messy sport that didn't make any sense. But I thought, I was sick of just kicking the ball, playing soccer, and I really wanted to use my hands. So I was like, I'm going to go play AFL. I had a pretty rough start to my AFL career. I did break my ankle towards the end of last season, missed out on finals, but I got to cheer them on from my couch. So that was fine. But, I've rehabbed, I'm back again and playing, and I love it. So I'm definitely going to be sticking around. Pretty much same as Nathan. I'm just here for the gals.
Yeah. I played soccer like my whole life. And then when I, 7 years ago, my teammate Libby and I, we were kind of just like a bit over it. And she said to me, she's like, I'm sick of playing soccer. I'm going to go try AFL. Do you want to come with me? And I was the same. I grew up on the Central Coast. Nobody played AFL. Everybody loved NRL. And I was like, sure, why not? And so I just came down with my friend and tried it and then just became obsessed with it.
All six of you mentioned right at the start what position you'll play on the field. If you had a dream position where you like to convince the coaches to put you, where would that be? Be honest.
I would 100% stay at centre half. Everybody wants to be a forward. I'm sorry, and if they say they don't, they're lying.
Yeah, I feel like I would move to forward.
No, what would you be?
I would actually love to play on the wing because I feel like you can still have a few goals every now and then, but you just get to have that bit more open running playing.
Yeah, that's my pick as well. I used to play wing and I loved it. I'll get back there on any opportunity I get.
What does the sport of football mean to all of you, and especially being part of North Shore Bombers?
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, for me, outside of work, footy's my whole life. This club is probably my whole life. I love the club. I've only ever played AFL at North Shore, and it feels really special to me. I love my teammates, and I feel like the club takes us really seriously, which I know is a stupid thing to say, but I think that at a lot of clubs still their women's teams are seen as a second tier to the men's. And I don't feel that here. I feel like they really look after us. We get the same stuff that the guys get, whether that be match day payments, facilities, GPSs to use. And so, yeah, it just feels like a really unique club to me.
I feel like mine's similar, outside of other parts of my life, footy is just everything. And I feel like if I'm not playing a game on the weekend, something's really wrong.
Yeah.
Something's not
what
good.
would I do?
Yeah, I feel like I don't it's just a really sole part of my week.
Yeah, it's being a part of something. Everyone's got work, everyone's got family and friends, but it's just that other thing that really keeps you ticking, gives you something to get up for on a Saturday and put your all into, and especially with a bunch of chicks that you absolutely love. So it's the camaraderie, it's the team environment, it's pushing yourself to get better, and yeah.
I guess for me, obviously 100% agree with all of that. There's an added element. As I said previously, my family is a huge AFL family. Both my uncles got drafted. My granddad, has been going for the Bombers since he was a little boy. Brother was trying to get drafted, dad played. So it's just been a huge part of my family. And obviously growing up, it wasn't realistic that AFLW was going to be a thing. So I put all my time and energy into doing other sports at a high level. So being able to connect the two, my love and passion for elite sport, and obviously my family background and following the Swans since the age of 3, it was just an awesome match for me to be able to connect those two. Dad and mum still come and watch pretty much every game that I play on the weekend. Like my older brother used to play, and he was part of North Shore. So being able to kind of, again, like carry on that family element through the club is just awesome. And everyone knows each other. And if they don't, they're happy to get to know you. And it's just a really social and welcoming club. So it's, yeah, great to be a part of.
Yeah, I would also add to that, like, I spent Tuesday with the young girls, like the 9-year-olds, and they look up to us so much, like as Bombers. They think we're like legends. Let's play AFLW. We're like, yeah. Some people are, you should have been like, yes, yes, we may as well be. And that was just so sweet. And like, this club is really special because we really care about the juniors and giving them something to look forward to and play footy for and give them a path forward. So it's really nice sort of being now older, like older women, and thinking we're actually playing an important part for representation for these young girls. And I think that's so sweet and lovely. And it's kind of unique to our club because we have such a close relationship with our kind of feeder clubs. So like Willoughby Wildcats and the Mosman Swans, like we're playing quite a big role for them. And I think that's really nice. And yeah, footy's just, I need footy. I cannot live without it. It's grounding, it's my release. It keeps my head clear, gives me something to look forward to, and it's so important. Yeah.
Definitely coming off that, being like one of the junior girls on the other side of that, like last year, definitely like when like the North Shore girls would like come to training or like would be there, you just like always thought they were like really cool. And like I remember that one. Someone would like come and you'd be like, oh my god, that's like the best like football player I've ever seen in my life. I don't know, you just like came off that way.
I mean, I love it. At our old trainings, I think Dom and even Nicola Barr came to a few of them. We're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then we came to training, and then they were there, and I was like, oh my god, I'm training with them now. Like, I just love it. Like, the club, like, or the events is all we have. It's just such a good community. And like, I used to be super scared at the start of this year, literally, to come to training. I was like, oh, I don't know anyone. Now I'm like really excited to come every week, like meeting everyone. So like, yeah, it's just really good. And no, I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I love that.
You pretty much just answered my next question I was going to ask, but anyone can answer this. What have all 6 of you learnt from each other on and off the field?
I feel like I'm taking up so much airtime. Sorry.
Not at all.
Like, no other sport is like this. I can remember my first training. I was like, what is wrong with them all? Because everybody gets around each other. There's so much camaraderie. Like, you do a drill, you high five, you say hello to everyone. You're all smacking hands, smacking asses, like good stuff, great kick, great mark, good run. I don't know. But like, it's like the most involved sport. Camaraderie is like next level. I've played like tons of different sports and never experienced anything like that at any other sport.
Yeah, I feel like that also just makes it so much more like welcoming. Like when you join the club and all of a sudden you have like these like older girls that you're scared of being like, good job, or like nice kick, and you're like, oh, okay, like I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay.
Gives you
like,
the confidence.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's definitely really
Yeah.
nice.
I would also add like Tilly and Matho, they're our captains. Such legends right here. Like they hype us up every week, and like they're always here to give everyone advice about, like, you know, we've got a back and a forward here, so they're covering all bases. Tilly's also resident advice lately. But like they have such good pre-game chats. I think Matho said something when we needed a bit of a spray at halftime. It was like, no one has to take this game on alone. And that hit me, girl. I was like, you know what?
For
You
next
know,
week.
we've had a tough season. We've felt, I think, at times a bit disjointed, and they're so good at reeling everyone back in. And like those leadership skills are definitely something that we're all taking well to.
That's funny you say that, because I was going to say my answer to this would be learning to be a better communicator. Because, like, you know, in a leadership position, you do have to step up, and it's not, you know, it's not about you in footy anymore. It's about how you get everyone else to bring their A game and make sure that everyone else feels supported, and really just wants to be here. So for me, it's been a leadership journey, for sure. Yeah.
I'll finish with 2 light-hearted questions before you got training. I'm sure that's coming up very, very soon. So I'm going to finish with these 2, which is, who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikTok/Be Real?
TikToker right here.
Hey, plug your TikTok handle. Barraclough.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a few extra followers.
Get on early before she's big.
I will say that I reckon Tilly takes the worst Be Realer because I reckon we've got her about 10 times of being like, hey, can you take a quick like cute team photo of us, and her not realizing that it flips back on her. So I've got lots of Tilly on my phone.
I look like a dad, like
I reckon the best burial would probably be Fogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Maddie Fogarty, unfortunately couldn't play this season because of injury. But yeah, she does some great content.
Yeah, she does. She does. And comedian, oh God, that's a tie for a lot of people.
none of you are that funny.
No, we're not that funny.
Or we're all equally as funny.
I feel like
At that point, it's cancelled.
Yeah.
I feel like when you get Matho, Annie, and Dom together, like everybody else will be training, and you can hear this group in the background saying like the most random crap. Like, oh God, just getting back and like, oh, what dog like? If you get the three of them, probably them as a trio.
Yeah.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Yeah, I do. It's like not like set in stone though, but there's two things. I have to wear a ribbon in my hair, and it has to be like the colours of the team. So I have like red and black ribbon for club, and then I have orange and charcoal for academy. And like if I'm not wearing it, then I just like think that I'm not going to play well. But once like I get into the game, it like goes away and it's fine. And then I also have these shorts that I have to wear under my footy shorts, and so I can like put my mouth guard there. And one time at the beginning when I was playing the summer series games, I made my mum drive home from like half an hour to get them because I said that I wouldn't. And she got them, so it's fine.
And then you played well.
Yeah, hopefully.
It made knowing that.
So sorry, I was going to make that the last question, but I have to ask you as a follow-up. What did your mum say when she delivered your mouth guard?
She said she didn't actually say anything. She was just like kind of a little bit annoyed. Yeah, it's better work. After the game, she wasn't sure. No, she was fine. She's very like supportive of everything that I put myself to.
That's nice.
That will shout out.
Yeah.
Mama Barraclough.
I will finish with this very last one. What would be your advice to people that should get involved in footy, especially there in the North Shore?
Just get down and do it. This was me. I was like very hesitant because I was like, I don't know anyone. Like it's scary. But once you just get down, everyone is so welcoming and like so lovely to you. And they get around you because you're new. You may have to do like a little introduction, which isn't scary. But just get down and do it. Just like take the step, and it's just so worth it. Like I can't like imagine if I hadn't done it. I have so many regrets.
Yeah, my biggest tip would be whether you're wanting to play at a really high level or you're just wanting to play socially, there's a spot for you.
Yeah,
so like
100%.
don't worry about if you cannot catch or kick, or you've got absolutely no hand-eye coordination, or you're wanting to try and get drafted. You can always come down and we'll find a spot for you.
Yeah. We've got so many teams.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are on the socials, so if you're not sure whether it's right for you, firstly check the content because it's great. But no, I was more just going to say if you're not sure who to reach out to, like we do have the website, and we've got a great group of volunteers who are always active, replying to emails and things like that. Or you can send us a DM on our Instagram. I think that's the same for a lot of the clubs across AFL Sydney if you're in a different area.
Yeah.
All six of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us before training, to join us. Best of luck this coming weekend, and let's hope, obviously, that we see the Bombers flying high for the remainder of the 2023 season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Of course, if you want to get down and support the Mighty Bombers of North Shore, of course, in the next couple weeks before the season concludes, of course, we'll put all the details up on the next couple games coming up. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.